Hi, welcome to ecologs.com, and today I'm discussing a Shopify beginner's guide case study. The case study is something that came about from a guide that I started putting together specifically about Shopify and how to structure a store and to give somebody an introductory to Shopify. Somewhere along the line, it's basically changed how I approached the guide and how I actually wrote the guide and created it. I go over the actual approach that I use quite lightly in the article, but I do discuss a bit more in detail about the customer or the Shopify case study, which was highlighted to me initially during a blog article on Shopify Plus. The company in question was Blank Label, and I did some more research into the website, the products that they do, and basically found out that I was part of their demographic, which is quite unusual. So the framework that I discuss is what a beginner will need when they actually do look at Shopify as a solution for them to start a store. But this can also be taken for a number of other businesses or any other approach that they use. Now the approach that I've broken down, I've reversed it. I've basically swung it around where everybody writes it from the beginning to the end. I've taken the end to the beginning. And I've discussed the approach that I use in this method to make sure that I kept my focus and also stepped through it quite easily, and also kept the framework quite high level, but also with enough detail that it actually explained something to a beginner. I have tested this by giving it to a friend who knows nothing about e-commerce or anything of that nature, just to give them an idea of what is I trying to achieve, and I asked their opinion on it. The response that I got was very positive for somebody who didn't know anything. It answered a lot of the questions straight off without generating a lot of insecurity and a lot of confusion, which is quite an interesting concept that I was trying to achieve. Part of what I am doing is by sharing this blog post, and to give people an idea basically what I'm trying to achieve with. But I'm also trying to get people to understand that things don't have to be as difficult as what they think they can be if you use a different approach and a different way of thinking. It can be simplified a lot easier, and you can actually keep focus a lot easier and feel a lot more successful about it, and get a lot more satisfaction out of what it is that you're doing. It is more of a mental approach really than about the guide itself. The guide itself is to give people a structured approach on how to do it. But the mental approach is actually a bit more interesting. It was an interesting experiment for me, and I'm actually doing more with that subsequently because of this, and I'm building out more of the framework for the approach. So have a look at the blog article, have a look at the guide, make sure you download it and share it. There's also a prize that goes with it, and that is I will do a newsfeed promotion for you, which is slightly different to a press release, because this is something that gets picked up in Google and all of the current news feeds. And this is part of the prize of downloading and sharing the guide. So have a look at that. Let me know what your thoughts are and what your responses are, and take part in the competition.